AI just had one of those days where everything happens at once, all right? OpenAI's GPT-5 is catching heat. Users rally to bring older models back. A team claims they jailbroke the new model in under 24 hours. Google's pushing a think longer mode for Gemini, and Anthropic just offered Claude to the US government for $1. Let's unpack it so it actually makes sense. Y'all ready? Okay. What's up, y'all? It's Anthony Applewhite, and welcome back to Applewhite Intel, where we keep AI simple. No jargon, just facts and knowledge so that anybody can follow, right? And real quick, a lot of y'all watching forget to subscribe. It really helps me out. So if you're enjoying this content, hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment, everything, right? All right, let's jump in. So first, GPT-5. OpenAI rolled it out with huge expectations, right? Basically saying it feels like working with PhD level experts. But day one reality checks showed up fast. Early users reported basic mistakes, a colder tone than before, and even a new cap on weekly queries, right? That combo sparked headlines about a rocky rollout and questions about whether OpenAI can hold its lead while rivals surge. Altman says that, they're listening and tweaking personality and customization so the model feels warmer without slipping back into the, too psychophantic vibe of 4.0, right? In response to the backlash, OpenAI has already restored some models GPT-5 was meant to replace, like O3 and O4 Mini, right? Alongside 4.0 for paid users. Translation, performance matters, right? But so does feel. And the company moved quickly to meet users where they are, right? Okay, now, while product teams were tuning the vibe, the security crowd started, stress testing. Bleeping computer flagged a claim circulating that GPT-5 variants were jailbroken within a day using tailored narrative prompts, an echo chamber style tactic to sidestep refusers, right? Companies patch these very fast, but every launch is a fresh cat and mouse round between, safety teams and red teamers, right? So if you're a builder, act like a grown-up product org, log prompts, monitor outputs, and keep a rollback plan for anything customer-facing, okay? If you're a teacher or a parent, it's another reminder to sanity check anything that looks too confident and or too convenient, right? And let's stick with the human side for a second. Sam Altman's been on a bit of a media swing, right? And dropped some spicy takes, okay? He says kids born today are AI native, which means that they'll never know a world without an on-call digital co-pilot. He also says that he's more worried about older workers who don't want to, retrain than about new grads, all right? He calls the younger crowd lucky because AI is essentially a launch pad, not a threat, right? That flips the usual doom story for people willing to adapt. This is tailwind, not headwind, okay? For schools and companies, it means training and, how to ask better questions. Or how to ask better questions matter as much as raw curriculum, right? At the same time, Altman has emphasized the need to protect vulnerable users or people in fragile states can misuse AI or seek harmful validation. And OpenAI doesn't want its models reinforcing that, right? That's why refusals and safety rails exist even when power users find them annoying, right? And at scale, edgy cases aren't edges anymore, okay? They're Tuesday afternoon, okay? Safety trade-offs are part of shipping to hundreds of millions, right? Quick pause, y'all, for something big that didn't come from OpenAI. Anthropic just offered its Claude assistant to the entire U.S. government for $1 via a new OneGov deal with the GSA. Yes, $1. It's a land and expand play. Remove the procurement friction, get federal teams using Claude, and win big enterprise-wide later with usage and services, right? Politico, FedScoop, Reuters, and the GSA all highlighted the same goal: democratize access and move agencies from pilots to production. The immediate takeaway is simple. Public sector AI is about to accelerate, and those playbooks will spill into state, local, and regulated industries, right? So get ready. Meanwhile, Google's pushing a different flavor of progress, right? Gemini 2.5 Deep Think. The concept is simple and straightforward. Let the model think a little bit longer before it speaks, all right? Like you would tell your kids. Doing this helps it make fewer dumb mistakes and dumb decisions. It's like telling your smartest friend, yo, just take a breath real quick. Walk me through it, right? Deep Think is aimed at complex math, coding, and multi-step reasoning. And Google's docs emphasize thinking built in. Here's why this matters now. In a week where fast answers backfired, slow is smooth, and smooth is fast, right? So if you're summarizing contracts or financials, give your model the few extra seconds. It can save you money, face, and a follow-up apology email. Got it? Good. All right, zooming out. This isn't just about features, y'all. It's also about the infrastructure squeeze and the legal weather, right? Compute demand is still crazy, which explains some of the product limits and usage caps you're seeing. On the legal side, fresh commentary today underscored the risk surface. Even if vendors claim protections, copyright holders keep suing, and policy is evolving in real time. So if you're training your own models or publishing, AI-assisted content, don't wing compliance. Loop in counsel and keep receipts, on data sources and licenses. Your future self will thank you, right? Now, if you want daily knowledge without all the fluff, I'm starting a private AI and business community on School. Founding members, my first 100 people, get a super discount, right? Inside, I'll share daily AI news, business tips, tool updates, a beginner, AI course, books, prompt packs, and more. I'll put the link in the description, so jump in while the founder pricing is still live. All right. So let's connect the dots here, y'all. On paper, GPT-5 raises the ceiling. Better tools, stronger reasoning, more expert-like behavior. But culture and trust are the real moats, okay? People form emotional attachments to GPT-4o's warmth, and they told OpenAI loudly. OpenAI responded by restoring those models and promising warmer, more customizable personalities in GPT-5, which is good. That's a major admission that tone and steerability are product features. They're not just nice to haves, okay? At the same time, the security community is already hammering at the walls, which pushes everyone toward deeper, slower, more deliberate reasoning models with, stronger guardrails. Expect more thinking, deep think, slow toggles, everywhere this fall, okay? And don't sleep on the government angle, right? If federal workers can access Claude for a token $1, right? AI use goes from pilot to everyday habit inside agencies. That normalizes AI for procurement officers, for lawyers, auditors, and the people who shape standards. Once that happens, vendors will bend over backwards to meet those standards for the rest of us, okay? In other words, government adoption could quietly set the baseline for trust, logging, and transparency that commercial buyers end up expecting by default. Got it? Good. And here's your micro playbook you can use this week. If you're a creator, cite your sources on screen. Save the screenshots of prompts and outputs. Trust is your moat, y'all, okay? If you run a startup, add red team prompts to your Q&A. Enable the slower thinking mode for critical flows and budget for usage spikes during launches. If you manage a team, publish a one-pager. Approved tools, do's and don'ts, data rules, an escalation path when something looks off. Think of it like seatbelts for your AI workflows. All right, y'all. Deep breath. The takeaway from today is this. We're entering the era where vibe plus verification beats raw horsepower. Okay? The best systems won't just be smart. They'll be steerable, safe, and comfortable to use. And the players who nail all three, brains, guardrails, and personality, are the ones who will win this next round of AI. Okay? Thank y'all for tuning in to Apple White Intel. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share this with a friend who needs to know what's coming, right? And here's my question to you. If you had a PhD level AI co-pilot for one task this week that you could do in your personal life, not your business, but your personal life, what would you have it do and why? Drop it below. I read every comment. Peace, y'all.